Okay, what's up, guys? My name is Ricky Liordi. If you are watching this, it means you're on my YouTube channel. And we are going to do a little get to know me. This will be a little series for anyone who's new to the page, new to the channel. You get to know a little bit more about me, why you would maybe have stumbled upon my page, and why you might want to stay, because we do a lot of fun shit around here. So I've got my coordinator, Jess, with me. She's going to read off some questions that were submitted on Instagram yesterday, and we will answer as many as we can within the next hour or so. So I guess, Jess, let's jump into it. What made me start doing content? I got started in content about 3 years ago because me and my best friends, we had an app. It was a social voting app called Cast, and I was obviously using social media to promote the app. And while we were promoting the app, I had a TikTok go viral. It was like the boyfriend application. It went like mega viral, 10 million views or something ridiculous. I gained 30,000 followers in the span of a week. It was chaotic. A couple months later, we shut down the app. So this would have been Christmas 2021, heading into the 2022 year. So I went from working 2 full-time jobs, basically the app and my day job, to having a slow day job and nothing else to do. So I said, how hard could this TikTok thing be? And here we are 3 years later, still plugging away. And, I think at that time when I started doing it as a side job, I might have had 20,000 followers on Instagram and maybe 70,000 followers on TikTok. Now I'm at 215,000 on Instagram and 400 on TikTok. So we've come a long way. I love it. It's fun. It gives me a lot of cool opportunities. And yeah, my niche is dating. Why? It's pretty simple. I'm single. I was single. I'm single. And when I posted that viral video a long time ago, it was called the boyfriend application. It was around dating. And I just enjoy talking about dating and poking fun at it and being single and making people feel like they're not alone. There's a sense of comfort when people come to my page to know that, hey, dating's not easy. It's tough for everyone, including me, including you, including everybody else that's single. And even the people that are dating and in happy relationships, they know what it was like to be where we are. And I've been in relationships since, and, I've been in love since. And, sometimes the content, even now that it's heartbreak content, it's kind of an evolution, and it's what led me to write my book, which is kind of cool. So yeah, the niche kind of picked me. I didn't really pick it. Ooh, I actually get asked this a lot. What's the best and worst thing about me? The worst thing about me, physically speaking, is my feet. I've got the ugliest fucking feet alive. They're so horrendous looking. The worst thing about me personality wise is I can be stubborn. I don't work on it either. I like that I'm a little bit stubborn, to be honest. I think if you're stubborn, you care. And I'm only stubborn about the things I really care about, because if I don't care about something, I'm not stubborn at all. So I used to want to get a lot better at it and like not be as stubborn. But now I've just learned to not care about the things I shouldn't care about, and the things that I'm really passionate about and things I really care about. I think it's okay to be stubborn because those are the things you really care about. So obviously I'm not as stubborn as I was years ago, but the best things about me, physically speaking, I'd probably say my smile. I've been told I have a nice smile, so we're going to accept that compliment. And the best thing about me, kind of personality-wise, is that I can make people feel really good about themselves. I can make them feel understood. I can make them feel heard. I can make people feel really good when I'm with them. I don't have many talents, but I think that's probably my one true talent, is that I can make people feel whole. What's one thing that I'm most proud of? Recently it's obviously the book. So for those of you who don't know, I wrote a book, which is a huge accomplishment for me, considering, I'm borderline illiterate. Not actually, but you get it. Nobody would have ever saw me writing a book, and I did it all on my own, and that was really cool to me. Honestly, really fucking cool. Aside from that, I completed a half Ironman last year. That was beyond remarkable, and I remember crying like a little baby when I crossed the finish line. So I'm like, I can't believe I just fucking did that. And another thing I'm actually really proud of is my pickleball team won the first ever Canadian National Championship. So I think that was really fucking cool too. What's one of the happiest moments in my life? The one that stands out and is super easy and straightforward is when my nephew was born. I didn't know I was gonna love this little shit as much as I do. And even when he was born, I was like, cool, great. I can't wait to meet him. And then I held him for the first time, and I was just like, holy fuck. this is what love feels like. This is what it feels like to be an uncle. This is what it feels like to be, I eventually became his godfather, which was super fucking cool that, my brother and my sister-in-law trusted me with that responsibility. So really, really cool. That was probably one of the happiest days of my life, along with the other things that I was really proud of. So winning pickleball was cool. The Ironman was cool. Finishing the book was really like a moment I was really proud of and really happy with, just because I did it all on my own. And the day where I was like, this is it, it's complete, I sent it to my publisher. That's kind of that really cool thing. Have you ever reached out to an ex when deep down you know you shouldn't? Holy crap, yes. 100,000,000%. I've done it more than once. I've gotten back together with exes many times. Maybe it's the right decision, maybe it's the wrong, but I don't know. Like sometimes when you take time apart from someone and you realize how much you miss them, I think it's okay. How did I get my teeth so white? My teeth have always been fairly white. I take really good care of them. I mouthwash, I floss, I brush, I do all this stuff. But recently, actually, for the first time in like almost forever, I bought like a teeth whitening serum. But I use teeth whitening toothpaste. I'm not shouting out any brands here, but I'm a big teeth guy. Like I take better care of my teeth than 99.9% of people. So I think that's why I get them nice and white. And I don't drink much coffee, and I don't drink much red wine, and I don't smoke. So there we go. Would I be prepared to move to another country if I met my other half? Fuck yeah. Maybe not immediately. I think it'd be very difficult to do immediately just because I have a career, I have a job, I have family, I have my friends and everything. But deep down, if we couldn't settle on, here is home, I would move. I have no problem. I'm so done with the city of Toronto, and I hate to say that because I used to love the city more than anything else in the world. And I always said this will always be home, and now I'm just like, I don't see myself living here forever. So not in the immediate future, but if I met a person and we had to go somewhere else, I think I could easily go. Outside of dating, if I could move anywhere else in the world, where would I move to next? Florida. We have a family home in Florida, and I love Florida. So Florida would be probably my next answer. Aside from Florida, I love Manhattan. Obviously, you can't really afford a big place there, so it kind of suck, especially like growing up with if I had to have kids or something in Manhattan. I love London, England, Spain. Oh man, depends. Like, am I still working? Am I not working? Did I win the lottery? Did I not win the lottery? So a lot of variables, but yeah, those are some places that kind of just come to mind off the top of my head. Oh, I love that question. The question is, how much of my parents' relationship has had an impact on my relationship and my expectations? I would say a tremendous, enormous impact. I see what they have, and if I have anything less than that, I'm not settling. I will not settle for anything less than that. I think what they have is the perfect definition of yin and yang, and I think my mom is this outspoken, fiery Brazilian thunder, and my dad's this soft-spoken, chill, quiet Italian construction worker, and they fucking work together so perfectly. And I've never seen two people that are so opposite but so connected and so in love. And if my relationship's not like that, I don't want it. So I would say they've had a huge impact on my relationships. Do I believe opposites attract, and have I seen that in my own relationships? I do believe opposites attract, but I do believe there's a beauty with similarities. All my exes have been very similar to me, and they've all been remarkable people. Like, my most recent ex is arguably one of the most amazing people I've ever met, and she was identical to me. The way we saw friendships, the way we saw love, the way we saw career, the way we looked at travel and opportunities and dreams, goals and family and everything. Obviously it didn't work out, unfortunately, but I don't think that I'm going to marry someone who's the opposite of me. I can't see myself doing that. Like, the things I value so much involve being somewhat similar to me. So, I do believe opposites attract. I do believe there are a lot of couples and relationships that are opposites. I just don't see that for myself. But maybe that's why I'm single. Who the fuck knows? What would I do differently in my last relationship if I could redo it? I think I would just be a little bit more confident in our relationship and a little bit better in my communication. I think we were long distance, and it's obviously very fucking tough being long distance. And there were times where I didn't communicate as well as I should have. And insecurities can get the best of you in a long distance relationship. And I'm man enough to say that I have insecurities as well. I'm very confident in who I am, but sometimes they get the best of you, and it's not easy to admit that. And I'm not saying it was just my fault the relationship didn't work, but I do believe that if I was a little bit more secure with who I am and our relationship, and I communicated my wants and my needs a little bit better, I think the relationship could have gone in a different direction. So yeah. All right. What gives my life meaning? To be honest, I want to live. Like, that's not a proper answer. What gives your life meaning? I want to live, but I refuse to live a normal, ordinary life. I refuse to just work my 9 to 5 to live for the weekend so I can just have fun on the weekends, and then 1 year goes by and 2 years goes by, and next thing you know, I'm old and grumpy and I let life pass me by, and on my deathbed I'm saying I wish I had more time. Like, absolutely not. If I go tomorrow, knock on wood, if something happens to me and I go tomorrow, there will be not a single person crying at my funeral, because they'll know I lived life, and I lived life to the fullest, and I lived life on the edge, and I did everything I could with the short amount of time I've been on this planet. So to answer your question, whoever asked on TikTok, the meaning of my life is to live, and it's to live fully and to live wholeheartedly, and just to do everything to the fucking limits and just push it. Aside from the book release, what is my favorite moment of 2024? 2 of my best friends got married this year. That was 2 of my best friends got married. One of them I've known since I was 4, and the other one I've known since I was 18, and they are 2 of my best friends, and I got to witness both of them marry the love of their lives, and it was both receptions were beautiful in their own, and just watching your best friends be so filled with love and joy and happiness was a really cool feeling. The question is, do I accept 50-50 in a relationship, or am I going to be the provider? I believe there's nothing wrong with a 50-50 relationship. When I do settle down eventually and get married and have kids, I would hope that I'm the sole provider. I'd want my partner to take care of the kids and take care of the home and focus on being a mother full time. That being said, if she doesn't want to, that's fine. I could play stay-at-home dad. I would be the best stay-at-home dad in the world. I think that would be so much fucking fun. But no, I got no problem with a 50-50. Ideally, I would want to be the sole provider and let my partner take care of the home. I do believe that is the hardest job in the world, being a mother and taking care of a home. So if I'm fortunate enough to be able to provide solo, I would hope that I can. And I don't see myself getting married and having kids until I'm comfortable enough to do so. How do I deal with loneliness, and how do I cope with it, or what do I do to cope with it? Yeah, loneliness sucks. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. So some days there's nothing you can do other than just sit in your sorrows and be miserable. But what I do is I try and go to the gym. I try and take care of my body and exercise my mind that way. I also stay busy. I like to do side quests, and I have so many hobbies and so many goals that I'm constantly working towards, and I stay busy at work and visit my friends. And I do believe if you had a good set of friends with you, you're never truly lonely. So yeah. What have I learned about myself this year? Well, I guess the obvious answer is that I can do anything I put my mind to, but that's such a generic, cheesy answer. But like, I wrote a fucking book, and I would have never expected to write a book. But I learned that, yeah, I guess that's it. I could overcome anything. Like I want to say, like, I fell in love for the first time in like 4 or 5 years, and that was remarkable. But I didn't learn anything about that because I've been in love before. But I learned that, yeah, you can turn some of the darkest days into some of the biggest wins. Any advice on publishing a book? Yeah, find a good publisher that you feel comfortable with. My publisher is a small independent agency. It's called Life to Paper. Tabitha, I love you. Thank you so much for helping me with this dream of mine, or this goal of mine, whatever we want to call it. The reason I went with her is because I feel comfortable with her. She's a Western grad just like I am. I've known her. I've seen her out and about. And ironically enough, that when I was thinking about doing this, like, her name came about and it popped up in my life, and I said that was a sign. But I feel comfortable with her. I could have published this book with any publishing house or agency that I wanted to, and I went with her because that's who I felt most comfortable with. So any piece of advice I can give is pick an agency or a publisher that you feel really comfortable with. Because this is something that's close to home for you, right? And once you finish the book, be done with it. I think I was once I finished it, I don't think I read it for a month. I think I left it alone. I left it in their hands. You guys edit it, take a look at it, do whatever you want. And I didn't think about it or like really look at it for a month. So when I came back to it, it was almost like reading it brand new. Like even when me and you talk about it, just like, I'm like, fuck it. I don't even remember writing this one. Yeah. Okay. So tattoos, I've got about 12, I think. My first one was my last name on the back of my arm. It's such a generic tattoo. My second one was a quote on my ribs. Even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are by my side. Then I think my half sleeve was my third. I've got a phoenix on my calf. That's my fourth. I've got my mom's birthday up here on my shoulders. That's like my fifth. And I got most of my legs done. I have opposite eagles on my thighs. I got a bull skull on my knee. I've got my 1990 on my other shin knee. I have Icarus on one of my front ankles. I have a random palm tree on the back of my other ankle. And I think that's it. And I have another tattoo coming up soon, the King of Hearts. How do you make the pain stop hurting when dealing with a breakup? You don't. Yeah, and it's fucking shitty when you are heartbroken, and it's got to be one of the worst feelings in the world, and you don't wish it upon your greatest enemies. There's nothing you can do. I think the important thing is to acknowledge it. Acknowledge that there's a loss in your life now. Heartbreak is a loss. It's almost like a death. You are losing someone that was once so close to you and so meaningful to you, and now you're without this person. So it's like grieving the loss of a person in your life. So I think you need to just accept that what it is, and accept the anger and the depression inside you. Accept it, and slowly over time start to move on and move forward from it. Because if you try and numb the pain and just move on right away and try and be with someone else or do something differently, you're not going to do anything. Take care of yourself, get better on your own, go to the gym, read, journal, meditate, go for walks, spend time with your loved ones, pick up a new hobby, find things that fill your cup and bring you joy. And then little by little, each day will get a little bit easier. But in the meantime, there's no easy answer to get over that. And we all fucking know that. And that's why people follow me, because they get it. Someone's in a new relationship and they can't forget about their ex. Any advice? Fuck. Break up instantly. If you are still thinking about your ex in your new relationship, man, just get out of it immediately. This is terror. Like, you should not be in a relationship if you're still thinking about your ex, and you're just gonna hurt some poor innocent bystander. And it happened to me many years ago, maybe a decade ago now, where I hurt some innocent soul because I wasn't over my ex and I got in a new relationship. So an advice from an old man here: break up with your current partner and either stay alone or get back with your ex. One of the two. Have I ever been open to a blind date / been on a blind date? No and no. Simple as that. Why? I'm very picky. I think anyone who knows me knows I'm very picky. And the only person I might even consider trusting with setting me up on a date would be my mother, because she's seen all my exes and she gets it. But other than that, no, I wouldn't. I want to know a little bit about the person. I want, like, a date is, it's 3-4 hours at the lightest. And I don't have 3-4 hours to wait with someone I might not get along with, especially if I'm doing it on a Friday night or a Saturday night, which is proper date nights. I'm not wasting a Friday or Saturday with someone I might not really like. And they're like, oh, but Ricky, you got to be open to it. You might like them. What if they're perfect for you? It's like, sometimes I can tell right away if I'm going to vibe with this person or not. So, yeah. And to answer your question, no, I've never been on a blind date, and no, I wouldn't be open. The question is, are you open to dating outside your race? And fuck yeah. I've met some of the most beautiful people that were not my skin tone, and they were beyond gorgeous. So, yeah, race to me is just, I don't know, it's another thing. It's like hair color. I don't hate hair color. If I could go back and change one decision in my life, what would it be? I would have bought like $1,000 worth of crypto like 20 years ago. But besides that, I don't know. Any one decision in my life. It's so odd, but I'm going to say this is one of my earliest childhood memories. I was like 4 or 5 years old, standing and like waiting for the school bus, and someone threw a snowball at me, and I started crying, and I started walking home, and the bus is coming, and my mom was sick that day, so she couldn't drive me to school, and I see her from the bedroom like pointing like, get on the bus, and I'm like, no, I'm crying, I'm hurt. And I walked home. By the time I got home, I wasn't crying anymore, I wasn't hurt, and I missed the school bus, and my mom had to call the neighbors. It was a fucking weird one, but it's my earliest childhood memory, so I would have got on the school bus and cried on the school bus. I don't think there's any monumental decisions in my life that I would change. Like there's no like major monumental moments in my life that I look back, I'm like, I wish I did that differently, because every bad decision I made or every good decision I made has led me to here. Like one obvious one I saw, maybe I would have taken business at Western, but if I took business at Western, maybe I wouldn't have had the free time to start a business while I was there, and starting a business, I wouldn't have met the people I've met. You know, maybe I should have been a player instead of a goalie in hockey. Like, but then again, maybe I wouldn't have met some of my best friends that I met being a goalie, right? So I don't know. I don't think I feel like if I got on the school bus that day, nothing would have majorly happened in my life. I would still end up right in the seat, right here, right now. But at least my mom wouldn't have had to like freak out and like panic because she was sick and couldn't take me to school. So Mom, if you're watching this, I love you. So a little bit about me. I grew up in the city of Toronto. I went to St. Mike's College School. It's a private all-boys school. I went there from grade 7 to grade 12. Graduated with decent marks. I went to the University of Western Ontario, and I studied the MIT program, which is Media, Information, Technoculture. I still love Western. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life going there. And I thought I was going into marketing. I was like, you know what, I'm going to be Don Draper. I'm going to be a marketing wizard. I'm going to, climb the corporate ladder at MLSE, and I'm going to be the chief marketing officer at MLSE one day. And then I started working in marketing and quickly realized that it just, it didn't align with like my long-term goals. So I left that to go work my family business. I've been there for 10 years now. And then I do all these side quests. So being at my family business has led me to a bunch of different shit. Like I got into the concrete truck business for a couple of years. I had a couple of those. Then I started an app with my best friend. I own a pickleball team, which is fucking crazy. I have this content creation business now, which is lovely for me. I invested in a brewery recently, which has been really cool. And now I have a book. So a lot of really exciting random things in my life, and I don't think a lot of it would be possible unless I was working with my family business, because there's days where I come in late, leave early, I travel a lot, and I do a lot of other things, and thankfully my bosses are pretty good with me. In another life, what would I be pursuing if I couldn't do anything I'm currently doing? Ooh, do you know what? If I had to guess, I'd probably be in like tech sales. Not what I want, but like I feel like I belong in tech sales. I feel like I could see myself in tech sales. But no, I'd probably be like a fitness instructor. Like I could picture myself teaching like berries or F45 or, doing like weekend park workouts or a personal trainer for like, rich celebs and shit, charging like $200 an hour or something. I can see myself doing that. Come on, like 3 more, you're almost there. Let's go. What's the most awe-inspiring place I've ever visited? Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is the coolest fucking place ever. It was so cool. And to know that was built before like real machines, like hydraulic machines, is just insane. It was built with like donkeys and like cantilevers and shit. It was just insane. Remarkable. And fun fact, the Great Wall of China is 20,000 kilometers long. I think. Give or take. It's like in that range, which is the size of Canada east to west. I think that's accurate. If somebody on TikTok wants to check that. Oh, one wish right now, what would it be? Can't say this. But no, one that I can say. I can't help myself on this. One wish that I can say is that right now is that I hope everybody close to me in my life has a really good end of the year. My life's pretty fucking great. I don't like, what am I say? I wish my book goes viral and people buy my book. Like that won't change my life too much. But I hope, everybody close to me, I hope that everybody has a really good end of the year. I feel like there's a lot of my friends doing, and family members and people in my life that are doing a lot and working hard and trying to do cool shit. So I hope that the people in my life all, reach their goals and kind of kill it for the rest of the year. Yeah, if people want to buy my book too, that'd be cool. What does my ideal weekend look like? Fuck yeah. this is just like for me and the boys, right? Because I'm single still. I play hockey on Fridays after work, so I'd finish hockey. Then me and my friends would be meeting up to go to a good concert on Friday night. So we'd go to a good concert, and then after we're all going out for like drinks and like food at one of our favorite spots, and we're all meeting up with more friends. Saturday morning, wake up kind of hungover but not super hungover. We go to a workout class like a Barry's or a whatever, like a Jaybird, do something wholesome. We grab a nice brunch and have a couple of drinks, nothing too crazy. Now the Leafs are starting, so then we go catch a Leaf game on the Saturday night. After that, we go out and about. We have a great day, a great evening. Then Sunday, I would wake up extremely hungover, grab brunch with the fam, and then like sit on the couch, watch football with my family. And like it'd be ideal if like my nephew and my brother and sister-in-law came over and we all hung out and just watched my nephew play with cars while football's on in the background, and just had a really good meal. And then we watch a movie to end the weekend. That would be my ideal fucking weekend. And I've done that weekend like many times. So yeah, that would be my ideal weekend. My worst habit, I've actually gotten pretty good. I used to bite my nails really bad, and I got this nail polish, so I paint my nails once a week, and I don't bite my nails anymore. So it's something I'm really proud of, because I think biting nails is one of the grossest things ever, and I used to do it, and it's on that level of smoking, how gross it is. So that was one of my worst habits. I also don't make my bed every day unless people are coming over. I don't make my bed, so that's another ugly habit or gross habit. My best habit, I check in on my friends a lot. I'm pretty good at calling my friends and just like, hey, you good? Everything good? How's life? You doing okay? I think that's probably my best habit. Is that a habit? What is my deepest fear? Is losing the people I love the most. Like, I think about the day that some of the people I love the most are no longer going to be here, and that fucking scares me. I don't fear death, actually. Like, me dying, I don't fear at all. Obviously, I want to stick around, though. I'd like to be here as long as I can. I'd like to see some cool shit, and, there's a lot of other things I want to do during my time here. But yeah, losing the people I love the most, and just like not like I can't picture a day where I won't be able to call my mom or dad, or like my brother, or like, what about the day I can't watch my nephew, like see my nephew, or it's my best friends. Like, what if I can't just pick up the phone and call them one day? So losing the people I love would be my greatest fear. Most trouble I've ever been in. Ooh. Most trouble I've ever been in. I don't know. I've never really been in like crazy amount of trouble. Yeah, it was once actually. It's kind of a funny story, but no, I shouldn't tell it. I'll tell you offline. Just no, like one time me and a couple buddies, we like tried to tip the minibus at school one day. The principal just grabbed me. He's like, "What are you doing, Ricky? Like, imagine I called your mom right now. What would she say if I had to suspend you for trying to tip the minibus?" I bet she'd be pissed. Don't call her. Yeah, no, I've never been in like any crazy trouble. What's the craziest thing I've ever done for love? Offered to fly across the globe to fix a fight. That is hands down the craziest thing I've ever done for love. I offered to fly across the globe to fix a relationship once. What's something I used to believe about relationships that I no longer do now? Ooh. What's one thing I learned, or one thing I realized now, is that love isn't perfect. And I used to believe that love is perfect, and you're just going to meet your person, and everything's going to be perfect, and everything's going to be easy, and it's just going to click. And I've learned that it's not. There's no such thing as perfection. The imperfections is what makes perfection, and you can love someone's imperfections and find the perfection in that. And I even, actually, one of the poems is about that. You find love in someone's imperfections, and I believe that now. I believe that no love is perfect, no love is easy, no love is, it just fucking clicks like that. I believe it needs to work on it. Yeah, there's love that's easier than others, but you have to work on it. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So yeah, that's the one thing. So biggest ick is, and I've said this a million times, people who are rude to people that they deem socially beneath them. So if you're a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, and you're rude to a waiter because you think that you're socially above them, or if you have 1 million followers on Instagram or TikTok and you're rude to the bellboy at the hotel or the front desk staff because you think you're famous or something, like, that is the biggest fucking turn off in the world. Like, you are as You are as cool as you're nice to people. That's it. That's what makes you cool to me, is how nice you are to people, how you treat the people that, you know, are might be socially beneath you, the people that don't have as much money as you, don't have as much clout, don't have the same clothes that you have. Like, it's what you do when people aren't watching that makes you cool to me. But that's my biggest ick. My biggest turn on is when someone can hold their own in a room of people that they don't know. And again, I said this on the Girls Next Door podcast. With my ex, I could bring her to a room with people she didn't know. I could leave her alone for 20 minutes and I can come back and everybody would be like, that's the best person ever. Rick, you need to marry this girl. And the amount of people that told me that with my ex was just like, you know, you got a good one. So in the next 5 years, what's an accomplishment I would want to achieve that would make me really proud? I'd want to be a father. I think in 5 years I'd be ready to be a father, and I think I'd be a really good father too. So, you know, ideally to get there, you have to find a person. I don't want to be a father just to be a father. I'd want to, you know, have a family, and I'd want to meet my person and go down this journey with them. But yeah, that's one thing I think would be really fucking cool. And like, I see my brother, and my brother's like the best dad in the world, and he's a fucking dad now. And I think I'm nowhere near ready right now, but I think in a few years I might be there. So for the rest of this year, I'm going to be all over social media. Obviously, we have the book launching October 22nd, Heartbreak Love, Guided Poetry Journal. We have the podcast, the Pals Podcast. We are recording weekly episodes. I'm going to be all over content. I'm signing with an agency. So by the time this is out, I'll be with the agency. So you'll hear more about that. So you'll see much more content from me just like this, much more vlogs, much more daily content, quotes, snippets from the book, much more. And I hope you guys come and join me at one of the book readings that we're going to be doing, the book launch or some of these other events. I'd love to meet you guys in person. Obviously, like, this is a virtual space, but if I can bridge the gap between virtual and reality, I think it'd be really cool. So if you guys can come to any of the events I'm going to be hosting, I will be hosting a bunch of events all over, hopefully North America, you know, New York, Miami, Chicago, LA, the more the merrier. So yeah, if you see me post about it, show up. If you see me on the streets, come say hi. Love to meet you guys in person. And if you don't follow me already, it's at your Pal Rick on all socials. Your YOUR Pal PAL Rick RICK. And we hope to see you guys around. Cheers.